Welcome back to the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick, and it's time for the interview segment. Now, the interview segment is we have a special interview segment today because there's always people with road rage out there. They always seem to complain, and they always talk about buses. And there's one man that's responsible for all the buses. Well, on the Dutch side, at least, Mr. Jose Slack, the president of the bus association here on St. Martin on the Dutch side. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
Now let's talk some public transportation. Now before we go into the whole gist of it, I wanted to know how is the $1.50 fare working out? You get any complaints from the boss that it's not enough or it's good, it's good enough? Because I know we was at $1 for quite some time, and now it's $1.50 for I think what 2 years so.
About 3 years.
About 3 years, okay. How's that working out?
If we really have to make an analysis based on how the price of gas have increased over the years, definitely the price of $1.50 and $2 is not enough. But you cannot take blood out of stone. People that making $600 and $700 a month, if they have to pay more than $1.50 and $2 to catch a bus, they will not be able to live. But if we organize the public transportation system in a proper way and structure it accordingly, I believe we can live with it. In 1990, when the bus fare was increased previous to this last time, the price of gas was 73 guilder cents per liter. Today it's close to 2 guilders 50. That's almost fourfold. The price of a bus used to be about $13,000 to $14,000. Today a bus costs $36,000 to $39,000, and I'm talking about a 15-seater bus. But if we structure it accordingly, that buses will run from let's say a bus terminal every 5 or 10 minutes and run to different routes, so assign routes to the buses, we might be able to live with the bus fare that we have today.
What would you say would be a fair price that buses will be able to be satisfied?
Look, people are always looking for more. So if you have to ask me, be satisfied, we would never reach there because, again, the people won't be able to pay.
Of course, they had the whole color code system that different governments wanted to implement or wanted to discuss or wanted to make committees or wanted to do studies on how it would affect the public transportation on a whole. And of course, you've been hearing this for years.
Definitely.
So, what would be the best short-term or long-term solution in your view?
In my view, the first short-term solution that we have right now is implementing a routing system.
The routes.
That's
okay.
easy, and you don't need a lot of money to do that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Have the buses run specified routes. You're going to have bus drivers complain that would not work and this would not work. But right now, there is a large percentage of the bus drivers that only run one specific route. So you just have to deal with the rest and try to structure it. That's a short-term solution. That can be done within a few months. Okay? More long-term solution now is the infrastructure, getting the necessary bus stop in the different districts, a bus terminal, which shouldn't take a lifetime, okay? A bus terminal where we can operate from and so on. The color-coded system, I must mention this, is a very old idea that came from the Bus Drivers Association even before I was president of the association, probably 10 to 12 years ago, where buses would be identified by a color band around the bus to the top of the windshield and I guess the back glass. So that, let's say, I was trying to print the whole thing for you this morning and the printer didn't do a good job, so I wouldn't. But it was an idea that people won't have to necessarily read. When you, government, take the decision that the code of St. Peter's will be red, the time you see a bus with a red band, it's a St. Peter's bus. Blue, let's say, would be Mullet Bay. There are colors that were suggested, but as I tell you, my printer failed me this morning. So that the buses would run according to their routes. And people would know by the color where the bus is going. Okay? And we would be our own controllers, because if I see a bus with a blue band in the red zone, picking up passengers, I'm going to report it. You don't really need a police to be there checking that.
That's true.
Okay? The bus terminal, which is a little more long-term, I would say mid-term, I heard the Minister of Public Transportation say that St. Martin doesn't need a bus terminal because St. Martin is too small. One of the biggest excuses I always hear people use, the size of the island. St. Martin is a small island with a big heart, with a big everything that can do what any other country do. And I believe, look, on the French side, we have 37 square miles. The French side only have 5 more than us, but they are erecting a bus terminal. It's not a state-of-the-art bus terminal, but something where we can operate from, okay, and start so that we can start disrupting the traffic as often as we do.
And so, bus terminal would be the long term.
I would say a midterm, because that isn't something they're going to take. Of course, if we need 7.5 million guilders to build it, it might be a long-term solution because you have to get the money. But I don't think we need $7.5 million guilders to build a bus terminal. I tell you, just go to the French side and you see the simple thing that they are building to have the buses organized.
My thing is, and a lot of people always feel that it's kind of unfair or not correct. Is there something that says that a bus, let's say that is from the French side, you have a lot of Marigot buses that come over to the Dutch side and they go Phillipsburg and go back to Marigot, and then you have some that have different signs, and a bus from the French side goes St. Peter's or goes to Mullet Bay. You know, is that allowed?
Okay, a while ago before we started, I told you that I never saw a law forbidding that. What I have saw was a proposed law, which have not been, according to me, finalized, where that was discussed between the French and the Dutch side, that there would be a certain amount of buses running from the French side coming into Phillipsburg and back, and a certain amount from the Dutch side to Marigot and back. The rest of the buses, also to French Quarter, the rest of the buses that remain will have to stay within their internal route. Since that, or based on that, on the French side, we are stopped when we pass beyond Agrement. If the gendarmes catch us or the police catch us over there, they stop us, they find us, and they take the bus and put it in their impound. On the Dutch side, unfortunately, they don't do it. At one time, one of my buses was stopped over there, and what the policeman told me when I said, but the French buses run into St. Peter's, he said to me, we are doing our job on the French side. If the police on the Dutch side does not want to do their job, that's their
problem. Yeah.
No, I respect that. You know, if that's his thing, his belief, I respect it. We have to do our job over here. We still have buses that run within the internal route. In fact, this Sunday, hopefully this Sunday, if not the following Sunday, we will be having a meeting with the Bus Association of the French side to discuss matters of mutual concerns, to see if we can harmonize the public transportation system and suggest to our governments on each side how, you know.
On a scale to 1 to 10, how important is us fixing this problem right away, or is it something that we have to do in stages, or is it at a dire need that we have to work on it right away?
I would say we can do it in stages, but if you say in a scale to 1 to 10, I would say 11, because it's something that has to be done long time ago. As I said, we proposed the color-coded system. It's not a government idea. This is the bus drivers' initiative. They took their own money, they hired people to put it together, and did even a PowerPoint presentation to Commissioner at the time, Laveis, on how we see the system structure. At that time, we suggested that we should have 127 buses on the Dutch side, and we had already 190.
Jeez!
And today, because we had some very nice commissioners during election time that start sharing permits in exchange for votes. They even had one that took the initiative to lift the moratorium that was enacted sometimes in the 90s, to lift it. Okay? To give out permits for people that was campaigning and so on, which I have always said, and I maintain this. Public transportation has been used as a tool during political campaign to gain votes. And I'm totally in disapproval of that.
But so, how many buses do we have now?
Over 200. I can't tell you 200 and how much, because there's a few numbers in between that are not 10, but we're up to 225 in plates. We have plates 225 on the road.
So wait. We have, if not over or but close to 225 buses
Definitely. In 60
on the
square miles.
Dutch side.
On the Dutch side only.
Only?
Yeah, and the French side doesn't have 100.
Well, all right. You know, that gets me off guard. I know I should have done my research, but
Oh, believe me.
wow. But so
And you know what? It's sad. And up to this morning, our driver was complaining to me. We came together. I came in his bus. And we saw a bus park up somewhere in Colby. I'm not going to call the number of the bus. The guy has a job. And the government issued him a permit to operate. So he only renders service in the night. There are people that have got a permit and never sit one day behind the wheel. The next day they take the plate and rent it out to somebody else. Give the permit to people that need it. People that are going to make use of it with clauses in it that you must operate your bus a certain amount of hours and a certain amount of time before you can even be considered to have an assistant driver.
so then because that's another thing I want to talk about. They have certain situations sometimes when they have people renting their plates, renting the buses for $40 a week.
A day.
$40 a day. Sorry about that. $40 a day. Sometimes $30, depending.
It all depends.
It all depends, and they have up to 4 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, and so you have people collecting some serious money at the end of the month, which is their right. But then, is it right for the small man who's trying to make $1, who's on the road, and sometimes they only make $40 to $50 a day? And then $40 goes to the person, and then they don't.
You know,
How can we combat that?
The laws are there. Okay? The laws provides for a driver that owns a permit to hire somebody to drive his bus. But you hear what I said? His bus. What's going on is not somebody driving the operator's bus. But that's another point that I would really not like to delve in it.
Yeah.
Because, they have gotten out of hand. What we have to do is amend to what we have if it's not in the detriment of the industry and of the commuters, which are the first one that we should protect. If it's not to their detriment, let's amend it in such a way that, we could live with it.